at Chonghi Yang Park.
And can you tell me how old you are? Where were you born?
I am 84 now, and I was born in July 27, 1921.
And where were you born?
I was born in Kunia, that's close by to Schofield.
Schofield Barracks.
Schofield Barracks.
And you lived there for how many years?
I lived there when I was about 16 up to... We lived at the homestead first, and then we moved to the Del Monte Plantation because, you know, my father was a pineapple grower, and he had a depression, and, you know, and everything didn't turn out right, so we moved into the Del Monte Plantation, and I lived there about 16 years, up to 16 years. And after that, we moved to Honolulu, that's Kahala, that's Farmers Road. And from there, I went to McKinley High School and graduated there, 12th grade.
What year was that?
That was in 1940. My papa is from Korea, and he lived in Pyeongdo, Namdo.
That's the province.
That's the province, Namdo. And he has a big family there, but, you know, being that they are very poor, so he need to go somewhere that he could make some money and support the family in Korea. And meantime, he came to Hawaii, and he stayed in Maui for a while. And then from there, he came to Honolulu.
What's your father's name?
Yang Un-hwan.
Yang
Un-hwan. And my mother's name is Lim Ok-sun, and she came from Kaesong. Kaesong is the border of the Seoul. Yeah.
So it's in the Gyeonggi-do. Yeah. That's a province.
I think it is. I don't know. My father was born in 1883, and my mother was 14 years younger. So that's in 1897, like that, yeah. Because she was 14 years younger than him.
And are they living?
They all died.
When did they pass away?
My father passed away in 1958, and my mother died when she was in 1981 or 82. That was a long time ago. The elementary school was in Waipahu. That was August An School.
August An?
Yeah. And I like that school because it's such country looking, you know. And it's my first experience going to that school. And I like the teacher too, you know. Instead of bringing books in my my school bag, I used to bring a lot of tomatoes for her.
Oh, why?
Because she loved tomatoes, you know, she likes that. So I used to, they used to help me fill up the tomatoes that we grow in at home, and I gave it to her instead of books, and she would enjoy that. I don't know why she never stopped me from doing that, but, you know, she.
Your teacher?
My teacher, she was a Hawaiian, you know, Hawaiian teacher.
Do you remember her name?
Kamaka.
Kamaka, Mrs. Kamaka. Do you remember her first name?
I don't know her first name, but I know Kamaka. That's the first teacher that I had, you know.
How old was she?
She was in her middle age.
Middle age?
Yeah.
Like in her 40s?
Yeah, in her 40s maybe. And then from there, we went to Wahiwa, that elementary school. And from elementary, went to Leilehua High School.
Do you remember any of your teachers, your names of your teachers? And what subjects was your favorite?
I don't remember in Wahiwa, but in Leilehua, I remember Mrs. Mack, Mrs. Lucas, Mr. Bullitt. That's about all I know. I don't know the rest of the teacher.
What was the makeup of the school? Were there many Korean students?
A lot of Koreans, because Wahiwa is noted for a Korean town, and had more Koreans than any other ethnic, you know.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how we get to know all these Koreans like that. And then from after that, I think it was my sophomore year, we moved to Honolulu. That was in Farmers Road. That's down Kahala side. And from there, I went to McKinley High School and graduated over there. He was a farmer, and he didn't make enough money to support. We have 10 in the family at that time, so you know, and for giving us a break or something like that was kind of hard. So we took it, you know, as well. It's life is like that, you know. We cannot expect a little more than like the other kids have, but we survive, and then we live and we enjoy what's there, you know.
Were you involved in any social clubs? Were like Korean student social clubs?
I did not involve in any of the clubs because at that time I didn't think of anything like that. I need to go home early.
Why?
To help, you know, to help clean or whatever, you know. We were just limited. Our time was just limited.
So how many siblings did you have?
I have 9 at that time.
At that time?
I had 6 brothers and 3 sisters. So 10 of us, and 2 died when they were baby. So.
And what were you? You were the.
I'm the 4th in the family.
4th oldest.
Uh-huh.
4th oldest.
Kind of stories like, you know, ghost story, and you know, and a kind of story that
ghost stories.
Ghost stories.
What?
You know, like they have that totem pole, you know, and then I don't know what you call that in Korean. And he used to tell us a lot of things about those things too. But when we were in Korea, he used to tell us a lot of stories. He tell us about the ghost story, about the stable that they had in Korea,
Uh-huh.
and then he would say that they could see something that's walking across the campus, you know, like that, the camp, and he used to scare us because, you know, we like to hear, but yet we were so afraid to hear that kind because we're just surrounded with those things around, you know, around us. Well, when they were growing up, like my father, he didn't have any kind of social life like that because at that time, well, the Japanese occupied Korea, and they have to really buckle down and, you know, do more things for the family, you know, to work in the field, and, you know, and do a lot of those errands and stuff like that. And like my mama, she was born in Kaesong, and when she was really small, she was maybe about 5 or 6 years old, her parents got killed, you know.
How did they get killed?
They got killed from the Japanese. I don't know how, but, you know, that's what she tells me. You know, she got killed, and then she had no parents. So what they did was she had to go to the orphanage home, and from there I think she lived up to 16 years old, and then she came to Hawai'i, and then, you know, she was a picture bride, and then she got married here, and then she had a lot of children, you know.
Your Wei Halmani, your maternal grandparents, were killed by the Japanese.
Right.
Do you know
both of them?
Have an inkling why they were killed? Because the Japanese at the time were trying to occupy Korea.
Well, at that time, her parents were sort of like a professor, you know, and her mother was a school teacher. Being that they know so much, and they wanted to kidnap them and kill them, because they knew too much, and more so because they were against those people, the Japanese people, and that's how they got killed. That's about it, I think.
How about your father? Was your father involved in any kind of activities, or what was his feelings about the Japanese, or what was his?
Well,
what was his
his
feeling
feeling was same like any other Koreans. They kind of hate it. They hate them because they're the one that interfere in their life.
The Japanese.
Yeah, they are interfering in them.
They did take over Korea.
Yeah, and they can do whatever they please, at that time, and whatever they produce in a field, they would take maybe so much percentage from them, and then whatever is left, well, they have to support the family. And he has a big family too, really a lot of relatives like that.
In Korea.
In Korea, a lot of
Pyongyangdo.
big big family.
When you were growing up, did you speak Korean?
Well, we speak Korean just a little bit, like a pidgin.
Like a pidgin Korean?
Yeah, because my mom and papa would talk to us in Korean, strictly in Korean, but normally we don't understand fully, but certain things when she pointed out, bring this or bring that, 가져와, like that, ilhe, like that, well, we know what's that meaning. So at the same time when we were going to school, we speak English, so we know more English, and all my sisters and brothers, we talk in English. We don't talk Koreans among us, but only through our parents we speak to them in Korean, like pamogo, like that, very brief kind of things like that. So then we know what it is, see, pamogo, and then
everyday kind of language.
Yeah, everyday kind of language, and just simple kind of things, and we understand that part. But my older brother and my older sister, they went to Korean school, so they...
Oh, there was a Korean school?
Yeah, in Waipahu. So after the Waipahu's high school and me, from August on, we walked to the Korean school. It's a small school, but...
Where was it located?
It was located where the sugar mill is, the train track, the sugar mill, and just before you go into the sugar mill, it's right above the hill, and that's where the school was.
Who's it run by?
It was run by, I still remember her, Mrs. Cha.
Mrs. Cha.
Yeah, and she was a good friend with my mama, parents, and there's 1, 2, 3 Korean family was living right down the hill, and one was Kim, and the other one is Lee, and the other one is, I think, was another Kim. And
do you remember their first names?
I know that some of them. I know one was Philip Kim. It was in the lower side. Philip Kim, and I think was Maggie Kim, like that. And then the second house was Lee, and her name was Mariah Lee, and her brother was Poki or something like that. That's about it. I mean, they had a lot of children, in that family.
So you did go to a Korean school?
I went to Korean school maybe up to 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not enough to know everything. But at least I know how to write my Korean name, at that time. So I feel I appreciate that. And then we used to have a yearly, annual Christmas party, and we look forward for that,
Right.
because we have a package of candies and orange and apple and nuts inside the package, and we look forward on that.
And that Korean school.
At Korean school, and they would just give it to all the kids like that. So we look forward to.
So how many students were in this Korean school?
The Korean
Was it just one classroom?
just one class,
So
yeah.
children of all ages.
One class, but it was kind of divided, for the younger one and maybe the older one, in the same floor. Just one floor. It's not divided. It was just like a house, It was divided. So this group is the older one, and the other group is the younger one. So we learned the fundamental, kagyo, kogyo, and then my sister and brother, well, they know better because they're older. They pick up fast, but we didn't.
So you were the last member of the siblings that went to
Korean school, yeah.
Like your brother below didn't go then?
No, they didn't. I'm quite sure they didn't. So they don't know a bit of Korean, language or maybe the alphabets, like that. But now my youngest brother, Ming, he's so enthused about Korea. He's always going to Korea, and he learns some things, and he comes home and watching the TV, the K-drama, that would just inspire him, In fact, all of us, we just love that program today. We are fortunate we have something like that today. Yes, she used to tell us, things, especially like the cooking. She would tell us,
She would teach you Korean cooking.
Korean cooking, and how to make kimchi and gochujang and things like that. She used to teach me, and I remember when I was young, I'm gonna surprise my mama, so I'm gonna make kimchi. So I cut up the kimchi and I put all the things inside, and
the cabbage.
The cabbage, and I put a and then when she saw me doing that, she said, "You did all wrong. You're supposed to salt the cabbage first. You say you're not supposed to cut it and put all the ingredients." And so there was a big mistake that I made because it didn't taste good. It wasn't kimchi at all. It looked like a salad,
Salad.
And that was the first mistake that I made. And I watched her making a kimchi. She salt the cabbage, first.
So the salt you use like Hawaiian salt.
Hawaiian salt, you have to do that. And when the cabbage is all limp like that, it has some salty taste, It's not too salty, but salty taste.
That's a
and
preservative.
then you put all the ingredients, and then you mix it up, and then that becomes the kimchi.
Where would she get the kuchikado?
My papa used to take a trip. He took about 3 trips. He had a pineapple field, and he worked real hard, He did that because he wants to make enough money to take back to Korea and then support the family in Korea. So he went 3 times. The first time he went, he took money and gave it to them. The second time he went, he took sewing machine and a kerosene stove, and some kind of the things that they would appreciate and they can use that. So he took that. And the third time when he did go, the third time he went, he bought the rice field and the mountain, because you need a mountain because all the woods, you have to make kindle wood, for cooking purpose. So you need a mountain. He got the rice field, the rice paddy, and then he bought some home, to give the family so they can go on and they can live a little better than the way how they were living at that time. But at that time, the third time that he took the money to buy all those land and mountain like that, he got really sick. We thought we were going to lose him.
How did you know? How did you find out that he was really sick?
He was very sick because my mother, she received a letter saying that, if she can send some things from here, like the minari, but you have to dry the minari and go to the stream, pick up the pebble, the nice pebble like that. So they're going to use the pebble and the minari to brew that into tea, so he can drink that. The reason why, because they feel that maybe it's the water that he's drinking is not good for him or something like that. So she rushed that and sent it over, and we know that he was very sick. And then what we heard from my mama when she received the letter, they already had the fire burning, the woods like that. They think that he's going to die, so they was going to burn, cremate him. But somehow he got better. He got better, and then he came home. So we were very thankful that he was alive and he came home.
He was in Korea. That's where he would buy like the kochikaru.
He bought a kochikaru. He buys that kobinamu, and then he buy the garlic. Garlic, yeah, the garlic.
Manu, really?
Manu.
He wouldn't use the one over here?
Well, no, you just go over there and get it, and then
the fresh one.
No, the dry one.
Oh, the dry
one, and then he would bring big cans of yacht. And we just love the yacht, because it's like a Korean candy.
It's made out of barley, right?
It's made out from the barley. And he used to bring about 2 or 3 cans of that, It's a big 5-gallon can. And then, so we get to eat the candy and we just enjoy that, My mama, she always said that, when we have a cold like that, she would give us that yacht because they would kind of cure the cold like that.
You wouldn't bring like insam like that?
She brought some insam because my mama, she's from Kaesong now. Kaesong is noted for that insam, and she knows the history about the insam, and she would tell me that if I should buy the insam, don't buy a box that has more than 20 roots. If 20 roots or less, that's the best. But don't buy over the roots.
So when you folks got sick, in Hawaii, then your mother would prepare kind of Korean medicine.
Yeah, the insam. She got the insam, and not when we're sick. When we're kind of on the weak side, not enough energy. We used to raise our own chicken, so we get the chicken, and then we get the insam, and we brew the thing for Papa.
Papa, chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, like samgyetang.
Samgyetang, and Papa used to eat that because he needs that, and so every now and then she would make that kind of insam for Papa, and then we get to taste for it. We just, we don't like the insam, but we like the chicken. So we had a taste of that. We had, usually it's the kind of soupy kind of food.
Like what? Can you describe?
Well, my Papa used to buy the kind of soup bone. And my mama, she used to brew that for maybe half a day, until all that meat just fall apart. And then she takes all the bone out and she put inside cabbage and, and some garlic and onions like that. And most of the time when we were living in the homestead, we had rice and soup.
That's all.
And kimchi. That's about it. And we kind of envy people that, they had hot dog and bacon and ham like that. But now that when I think about it, we had a good food, good nutritious food,
Wholesome food.
Wholesome
Healthy
food.
food.
Yeah, really healthy food. And then my father used to raise the minari, the watercress. And he used to buy the oil sardine. at the general store. He buy a case, okay, with the watercress and the sardine. He used to cook that and we eat with the rice and like that. And it's supposed to be a very nutritious food.
You told
But
me.
we didn't know that, We didn't think that, that kind of food, junk food,
You told me once that your father cooked with only one recipe. That was the watercress nutty and the sardine.
Sardine, that's the one,
and
yeah.
then you, after a while, you kind of didn't like that. Tell me the story about that.
Well, we had that so many times that I was kind of...
Well, why? Wasn't your mother there to cook?
No, she went in Korea.
Oh, she was in Korea that time.
She went in Korea and she was she was pregnant at the time. She got to go because his father was dying. Okay.
Your grandfather.
My grandfather was dying.
Your harabaji.
Yeah, my harabaji was dying. So somebody from here got to represent. So my mother had to go. My father couldn't go because of the pineapple field. So he had to stay back and take care of the laborers and stuff like that, and deal with all that the business. So my mother went. She was about 6 months, I think, in pregnancy, and she went there. And she said that when she reached there, well, she had really tough time, because in that condition, and of course, first you have to. Embark in Japan, and from Japan you have to take another ship to go to Korea. So and that was about almost a month kind of trip, and she was really worn out already. And then by the time she reached Korea, she was all tired, and she has no energy, but she had to do whatever the Korean tradition. That my grandfather died, and she had to go serve, the like a song, you go take them to the grave like that, okay. And in that condition she was, and when she took the song, and when she put the song down, and when she was turning around to go back, she felt that somebody just like to grab her, from the back. Maybe it was her imagination or what, but she had the feeling like that, and she really got a shock of it, Came home, the baby didn't leave because she, I think that shock that she received, and the baby died from stillborn.
Because then you had a sister that died.
That died, yeah.
And her name was?
That's Yong-hee.
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 And she is buried
She was
somewhere.
so pretty. She was buried in Hawai'i.
Do you have any recollection where she's buried? Or?
Well, it's very sad because that cemetery at Wahiwa, they exhume all the bodies from there, and then they put it all in one plot, and we couldn't identify her grave after that.
So you did go down there and try to identify her?
We tried to, but we couldn't find her. And then so we lost her. We completely lost her. Like Memorial Day like that, we can't even go and see her. We don't know where they buried and whatnot, because they exhumed the whole cemetery, and then they put it in one big plot. And she was so pretty. She was so pretty.
You still remember her?
I remember her. Even her name was so pretty, Yong-hee, I really used to carry her like that. Father was busy with his the mules that he have to take care, and the chickens that what he have there, like that. And my two brothers would run around, Sang-guk and Song-guk, they're running around, playing around like that. They were kids, I mean, they cannot do anything. And we were all small too at that time. We lived there for quite a while. And we used to, we didn't have running water, no electricity. So it's a kerosene stove we use, and a kerosene lamp we use. And the water we have to go fetch down to the water pool, in a big barrel, and bring it with a mule. That's the reason why Papa kept the mule, because he need that kind of a transportation, on a wagon. And he used to carry the water up to the hill. It's a slope now, and it was kind of tough because like a good days is fine, because it's not paved, it's just man-made kind of road, it's all dirt. And then when on rainy days, the horse couldn't tackle that wagon because it was kind of too slippery and too muddy, and we used to get really. My father had a tough time bringing it, and we used to go down the stream, down where the water, the water well, and do all our laundry there. We didn't have running water, so my sister Stella, she used to go down there and wash, and I used to go down with her, but I didn't do much. The only thing I did was bring the wood, so we used to boil the clothes, in a big pot, in the galvanized can, and that's where the big pool where the cow comes for their water. So as soon when the cow comes, we run up to the gate and we run up to the gate and wait for the cow to get away from us. And by the time we got through, it was a little dark, and we get that baby ambulance, and we have to carry the thing up the hill to take them home to dry it on the line. So it was a tough life. But we never think about anything because, we thought, well, life's going to be like that, so we just took it as it is. We never think that, we never think about a washing machine or anything like that, But as we live longer, and then we had moved to a different place like that, then we had idea of washing machine and thinking about electric iron, to iron. Because prior to that, we had the charcoal iron. We used to iron with the charcoal. And then after that, we had the gas iron. We have to put the gas and pump the thing and, use the gas. And then we had the electricity, which was so wonderful. I thought, things like that was so wonderful because you don't have to do much things, and then you can progress, the progress is there, And today, I don't have to think about it. You throw the clothes in the washer and you sit down, and the thing is all finished by in no time. So that was really good. Well, the church, we didn't, because we live in, at first we were at a homestead, and after that we lived in Hawai'i. And you remember the person George's song? Well, the father had a big home, and he had a 2-story. So we live in the downstairs, I don't know how much my parents paid, but we lived downstairs, and then we went to Wahiawa school like that. The church was kind of close by, so we did go church, the Christian church.
Which?
The
one in Wahiawa?
Yeah, Wahiawa. Okay. And then they had the Methodist church. The Methodist church was further down. And we went to that church. We think nothing of it. Church is church. We went there for some time and go to the next church.
But the Christian church, the Korean Christian church, and also the Methodist church, there was differences, right?
Well, at that time, I didn't think of anything. I thought a church is church. One church is over there and one church is there, but they segregate the name. One is Christian and one is Methodist. That's about, all I can think about. When we moved to Honolulu, then this group, they consider Christian church is Christian church is a separate denomination like in the other Methodists, Methodist was in Keamoku. My mama went to Keamoku, and then your dad went to Keamoku too, and he used to sing a lot, and Mary Choi was the director, at that time, and Reverend Lee was the minister,
Reverend Sam Lee.
Sam Lee, and he's a very good minister. He didn't like Singmanri.
Why is that?
Because the reason why he didn't like him, he's in the low class now.
Who was low class?
My father is a low class. Yeah, okay. So one day he asked him, Singmanri, personally, face to face. He asked him, he said, Song Seng Nim, he said, what can I do, for certain kind of things like that, and he wanted to know because he's not familiar with this method in Hawaii, and then he made a dirty remark on him. He said, I cannot be bothered with you, or something like that, and my father got really angry. He just asked a civil question, what can he do, when he's in that kind of position like that. And he is the one that knows a lot of things, and he could sort of direct him. But no, he didn't. He insulted him, okay? When he insulted him, then my father put his foot down, and he didn't like him for no money. No money at all. And that's how he became made an enemy right there. And then when he arrived in Honolulu, they all welcome him, he's the Singmanri and this and that. But my father just turned his head up. Cannot be bothered with him. Because he was looking only for the rich one, because the rich one was supporting him.
Okay? Oh, the rich Koreans.
Yeah, the rich one was supporting him, so he couldn't stand that, and that became an enemy to him. He didn't like him at all.
So your father, was he the only person who felt that way?
Well, this is what had happened to him. Maybe some other guys had the same thing happening too, but I would go along with my father. Why should he do that to him? He's not, he's a human being. He's a human being, same kind of, I would think he's the same class. I feel that they're in the same class. But, I would 100% support my papa.
Okay. Your mom?
I don't care. I don't care what the other people say. I would support my father. Because he asked him a polite way. He said, Song Seng Nim, he went like that. He told us, my father told us, about that. So I know definitely what he said. He said, and then he just swear at him. Every time he think about him, he swear at him. I don't blame him. I really don't blame. Yeah, I don't blame him at all. My other siblings don't know things about it. Maybe they do, but they don't come out with it. But Papa told me directly. He said that's the reason why he don't like him.
How many? How did she feel?
Well, my mama going to fight for my father. She will. And that's how I feel too. I feel the same. So I don't care what they say, but So when the name comes on me, my ear closed. I don't want to hear about it. Otherwise, if this thing didn't happen, I would support him. I would support him. But he did that to my father, and that I cannot stand it. I had Korean friends, but I really mingle around with my co-workers. They're Chinese, and then part Hawaiians, like Hutchinson. She was part Hawaiian and English, I think. And husband used to be a detective for the police kind of department, And I had a lot of Chinese friends.
Why is that?
I just somehow I get connected with the Chinese, So I have a lot of Chinese friends, and they're good friends too.
Have you seen them recently, or?
I didn't see them recently. In fact, they all got married and they are kind of all scared away. But I had a lot of Korean friends too.
Were you encouraged to marry Korean, or your parents were open for you to go out with any?
Not definitely Korean.
And why is that?
They're very strict on it.
Oh,
They
yeah?
don't want the outsiders like that, And then when we announced that we were going to get married like that, they were very happy, because it's a Korean. Yeah. And so I just wanted to satisfy them too, I don't want to go against them. My father was trying to save as much money he can, from the pineapple business like that, and he was doing very well, very well. He was making lots of money, but he doesn't show that he's making a lot of money, But he was doing very well, and then his intention was to take all us back to Korea to live. That's the reason why he bought the rice paddy and the mountain and piece of land for us to live. And in fact, he even made a list down. Each child gonna have something. What they're gonna receive. And he got it all planned and everything for the family, but the war broke out, so the thing would just dissolve, so we couldn't go.
Well, plus that Japanese occupied Japan,
Well,
Korea.
Yeah, it was.
Koreans didn't have actually a country.
Yeah, but that's a second reason too, But his intention was to take all us back to Korea, and live in Korea, because he bought all the land now. He bought the land, and we get lots of relatives that they can help us and do whatever good for us, because he felt that that's the main thing in Korea. You need the rice paddy, and you need the mountain and the land.
You don't consider yourself American?
Well, I'm born in America, so I'm Korean American. And
How about being local?
local is just as good, because I lived here all my life, and I appreciate, what my parents did for us, and he tried to set up a place for us, That's one thing with Papa and Mama. He tried to set up every child a place.
What do you think you are now? Do you still see yourself as a Korean?
Definitely.
Oh yeah?
Blue-blooded.
Blue-blooded.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it because the culture and everything. Today, Korea is way up.